Hey, good afternoon, peace and power. Thank you for stopping through and chilling out with me on one of my express streams. Um, Not a lot happening today, man. Just wanted to jump on and see how y'all doing. If you come on, hit the thumbs up on your way in when you're leaving, and hit the thumbs up on your way out. Um, what can I talk about today? It really, but the boxing world has some news. I mean, fights being lined up. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. You know, you got Charlo and Jason Rosario, I think, coming to an agreement to unify the division. This is a good thing. What up, JP? What up, Marty Machine? Peace, peace. So you got Charlo and you got Jason Rosario coming together. Apparently gonna make a fight around September, I think. Lisa Bales, peace and Paul Queen, peace, peace. What up, Boxing Finesse? How you doing, man? That's a good thing, you know. But before I get into that, man, um, just quickly, I'm gonna be on the radio Saturday. I was just in a meeting and I was invited to be on to talk about the reparations. It's a few about what? It's gonna be, let me see, it's gonna be about maybe a week and a half until the day that is considered the Emancipation Day for all African people in the Anglo-Caribbean, the British Caribbean, that is. Emancipation Day is August the 1st, and it's a very important day for people like myself who can trace their ancestry back to an enslaved person on this island. And I've been asked to participate in a panel discussion on Saturday on the radio. And if anybody's listening who's from my area, who've always wanted to challenge me to any of my Pan-African thoughts, you can tune in. You can get that work live on air. I know some of y'all listen to this show. You don't comment, but you tell me you do listen to my little boxing talks. And I know some of y'all don't like when I talk this shit about Africa and Pan-Africanism and enslaved people, because it frustrates the coon in your soul. Well, I'll be on Saturday at about 9 o'clock talking about emancipation, what it means for our people, reparations, and why it's absolutely necessary. And if you have an issue with anything I have to say, you can call in live on Win FM. Win FM on radio, 98.9. You can tune in, winfm.com. And you can also call in when it's time to call in. And you too can get that work live on air. All right? Anywho, back to boxing. So Jason Rosario and Charlo about to make a fight. That's a good thing for boxing. I respect Jamel Charlo a lot. Jamel Charlo has a different vibe to his brother Jamal Charlo, who passes up unifications. It's interesting, though, that Jamel is not, I don't know. Is PBC really on a WBO strike? Because Teixeira has the WBO 154 belt, and they're not even mentioning that. I don't even know what Teixeira is going to do with that fucking belt, because he's not going to unify with nobody if the people at PBC not interested. Well, thank you, Lisa Bales. I appreciate that. I'll do more of that, definitely. It's important. I'll be on again Saturday. And if anybody of you background people, as Black calls them, any of you background people from my island or anywhere else, you want to get that work, you want to call in, because my words might frustrate you. And you want to call in and tell people why reparations should be forgotten about, you can call in so I can school you live on air. I like talking to you people, so you make sure you call in. You're going to have your opportunity to get at me live on air. One more time. Win FM 98.9 if you're listening on radio. winfm.com. That's WNNFM.com. If you want to listen online. When it's time to call in, you can always call in and I'll give it to you. All right? Pause. So, as I was saying, boxing again. Thank you, Lisa Bales. I appreciate that. I mean, so as I was saying, man, boxing is coming back. PBC is planning their fights. You know, Tank is making Leo Santa Cruz come up 2 weight classes. I originally thought that Leo Santa Cruz was going to make Tank come down to 130. Apparently, that's not the case. From what I'm hearing, no, this fight is going to be at 135, which is absolutely ridiculous. Leo Santa Cruz must be making a lot of money to have to jump up 2 weight classes to fight Fat Tank. You know what I'm saying? To fight Fat Tank. If I'm Leo Santa Cruz, Tank would have to come down to 130 and fight me. You know what I'm saying? What up, Black? What's up, brother Black? So from what I understand, Leo Santa Cruz is going to go up to 135. I hope that's not true. Because he was talking about Tank has to come down to 130, which I thought was only fair. You have to meet me in the middle. Tank is a 130 pounder. He's not a 135 guy. He's a 130 division guy. He's just fat. And I know what it is to be fat, because I'm a fat dude myself. And as a member of the Fat Man Association, with my former brand ambassador, Mr. Andrew Ruiz, you know, or former brand ambassador, he had to be demoted because of his bullshit excuses after the Anthony Joshua 2 fight. Tank is a member, whether he likes it or not, of the Fat Man Association, and he's a 130 pounder. Leo Santa Cruz should not go up to 135 to fight Tank. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I don't see why this fight is even happening, because Leo Santa Cruz didn't do a whole bunch and at his weight class. Gary Russell disrespected his father and he didn't fight that man. Yes, sir, the FMA Incorporated. FMA.org. In England, we also have our branch over in England. It's called the Portly Fellows Union. Portly Fellows Union. Okay? So if you're in England and you're looking for a home to be comfortable, the Portly Fellows Union is there for you, sir. We haven't found a president yet, but one day we will. Anyway. Brother Smoke, what up, man? What up, Brother Smoke? Yeah, Andy Ruiz. But yeah, man, I don't understand. Like, people are telling me that Leo Santa Cruz is going to go up to 135 to fight Tank, and I don't understand why. I really don't understand why. Leo Santa Cruz is a guy who coming from 120-something, and you're going to just jump past 130 to fight who? Make Tank shred down to 130. That's where he's supposed to be fighting anyway. What is this? I don't understand. I mean, Charles D, what up? What up? If anybody wants to jump on. Here's the link. Before I continue, let me remind you again. I'm gonna be on Saturday on Win FM. I've been asked to participate in a conversation about reparations for our people. We're gonna be talking about emancipation, which is August the 1st for the people of the Anglo-Caribbean, which took place on 1838, which was full emancipation. We're gonna be talking about the state of our consciousness in the Caribbean and further afield. We're going to be talking about the issues in America, in Europe, all of that. And I'm going to tell you people again, all you people from this country or wherever who disagrees with me, you'll have your opportunity to call in live and come get this work. Because I like embarrassing you people, because a lot of you don't like to hear about stuff like that. It makes you uncomfortable. The slave in your spirit is bothered when people like me speak. WinFM, WINNFM.com, if you want to listen online. 98.9 on your dial, if people still use radios. And you can call in. What else is going on, man? Yeah, we spoke about Jason Rosario and Charlo. But my question is Charlo going to go after, if he wins, or if Jason wins, are they going to go after Teixeira from Golden Boy to become undisputed champion of the world at 154? Whoever wins that fight. Or is PBC going to continue the WBO boycott and just, recognize 3 belts? I think Jason has what? The IBF and the WBA, and I think the IBO thrown in there. So after that fight, if they make that fight for real, is that person going to go after Teixeira for the WBO belt? I think they should. I think they should go after that because Teixeira doesn't seem to be a guy who has much anyway. Well, Brother Smoke is on. Brother Smoke, what up?
Hey, what's up, man? Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where in the world you are.
Hey, man. Good afternoon, Brother Smoke.
Yeah. So I heard you talk about the reparations. I definitely want to tune in. So how does one listen?
Yeah, man. If you're online, you go to winnfm.com or on Facebook. If you have Facebook, go to their Facebook page. It's a radio station here, and you can just tune in live. Doesn't matter.
Excellent. Yeah. So the PBC is opening up this whole post-COVID card thing.
That's right.
With the WBO title, right? Title challenge.
Who's that?
Steve Fulton versus I can't remember the guy's name. Sorry. But yeah, they're fighting for Navarrete's vacated belt.
So why is it that only in certain weight classes they seemingly don't recognize the belt?
No, it's just that they left him out on a Fox broadcast, and now everybody ran with the narrative since. Like PBC fights for WBOs all the time.
Mm-hmm. I know, because I've seen a couple of instances where they don't, like, the fighters themselves don't even like to deal with the WBO. Why is that?
I mean, it may be specific fighters in a specific division, but WBO is the new kid on the block.
Because when Andy Ruiz had the belts, I realized on the broadcast that they also didn't include, when they listed his belts, they did not list it as also WBO champion.
Yeah, I mean, those are producer broadcasts where, those are specific things about a broadcast that you can pin on a broadcast, but I don't think it's a larger conspiracy about PBC fighters and the sanctioning bodies, right? They had Lomachenko as undefeated. They just do shit on the broadcast. It makes you scratch your head.
So what do you think about the Charlo and Rosario that's supposedly happening? I'm hoping it happens.
So reports of Showtime's demise were, I guess, greatly over-exaggerated or premature or whatever the hell. I mean, that really is a nice schedule. I like the doubleheader. I think that's probably one of the best pay-per-view lineups I've heard in some time. Like, it basically, definitely in recent memory, if it comes off. Rosario and Derevyanchenko. That's an amazing pay-per-view night. Those guys. Let's see if they can get over the hump of fighting on the same card. They seem to maybe feed off of each other's energy. So if one guy does poorly, I wonder how that'll affect the other guy.
That reminds me of the twins on G.I. Joe, right? I forgot the names, but if you punch one, the other one feels it.
Oh, yeah. Was that Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear? I think it was Stuck on You.
No, this is the cartoon G.I. Joe. There was like twins. I
remember.
If you punch one, the other one will feel it. Never mind. That's just my childhood. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that would be a really, really good card. I'm telling you, that would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? But as you said, these two gotta chill. Like, these two gotta really maybe don't watch the fight. Maybe if you're in the locker room, don't watch the fight.
Yeah, I mean, both of those guys are, they're very intense. They emote a lot. I think they wear their emotions on their sleeve. I feel like they both are pretty controlled in the ring. You get what you get, but they definitely lead with their hearts.
There you go. There you go. What up, that guy? Khan GTS. What's good, Chad? All that. What's up, that guy? How you doing? But hey, man. So do you think that the winner of Rosario and Charlo is going to challenge Teixeira and just go for undisputed? In there? Is that the only thing left? Because 154 is not really a popping division, or when Jamal moves up, because he says he's going to move up anyway. Will Jamel go into 160 and take his place there?
Yeah, I think that's what the whole exploratory, shots fired at David Benavidez at 168 was, right?
Mm. So Jamal moves up to 160. Jamel moves into 160.
Yeah, and then Spence has to do what he needs to do at welterweight and move to 154. That's what they've been saying the whole time.
Oh, I see. You think I heard also rumblings of what's his name? J Rock moving to 160. You think he's gonna make a 160 pounder?
Nah, J Rock needs to stay his ass right where he is. I mean, maybe in a year, Triple G is not getting any younger. Canelo's a floater. You may get the J Rock Mel fight at 160 once he moves up. Yeah, give it some time. Maybe, move up a little bit after Mel.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was eating something. Never mind. In terms of boxing, Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz. What do you think about that?
At 130, I want to see the fight. At 135, not really.
Because I asked a question to Coppinger, and a few people told me no, it's at 135. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would Leo Santa Cruz jump 2 weight classes to fight Tank? No, make Tank come to 130. That's where he should be anyway.
But I mean, Leo Santa Cruz is a champ at 130 right now, right? So if they were at 130, they'd be fighting for Leo Santa Cruz's belt, which I think makes. And also, I think everybody would like to see Tank fight at 130. I think if you're going to pay for any fight at below 147, and it's going to be Tank Davis, it seems like it should either be him versus Loma at 135 or just somebody at 130.
I agree with that. I don't because Leo Santa Cruz was always saying that he wants to fight at 130. So when people are telling me, no, these are not the boxing experts, these are just like random people telling me no, it's going to be at 135. I'm like, why would Leo Santa Cruz relent when he's a champion as you said, he's a champion at 130? Why go up to 130 for the fight now? It has to be there. If that is so, they're going to pay a lot of money for that fight to go up, because I don't think, as you said, anybody really wants. It's not a fight people were asking for in the first place. And if you're going to make Leo Santa Cruz skip 2 divisions maybe to go and fight this man.
Yeah, I don't know. His heyday is that, so Tank is unproven at 135 and Leo is unproven at 130, right? But at least Leo has a real belt at 130, right? And I think, like I said, I think everybody would really, like most people, even Tank fans and non-Tank fans alike, I should say, not forget everybody. Both his supporters and detractors, I think, would like to see him fight at 130. So I think this is just all wishful thinking, and especially if you're going to put it on pay-per-view, give the fans what they would most like, most would want to see, and that's you versus 130. If it's not you versus Leo Santa Cruz, right?
If it does happen at 135, does that say that Tank is unwilling to put in that extra work to go to the division where he's best at, or is Leo Santa Cruz brave?
I would say, I think Leo Santa Cruz he's shown what his heart is. You can call it brave. You can call it whatever you want, but I don't think Leo Santa Cruz has anything to prove outside. I think the book is already out. People feel like he ducks and he cherry picks and he's just in it for the money, right? But once he gets in the ring, you know what you're going to get also. Yeah, the dude throws it. He doesn't stop working, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank at 135 on pay-per-view. I just don't get it. We'll see. that I'll defer to other heads, I guess. Whoever.
Well. Again, that wasn't said to me by anybody who was in any boxing inside or nothing, because
No,
Coppinger didn't reply.
no, I get it. It's just that Tank's last fight was at 135, and they didn't say what weight it's going to be at. So, I mean, that is that's the rumor. Leo said I 130. Tank said he's willing to go down to 130. The last time we saw Tank, it looked like he was, fulfilling Wilder's, his scientific fantasy about giving birth. Like,
Oh,
whatever. I
don't do that, Smoke.
I don't know about that at 130. Like he looked like he was. I don't know. Whatever. Let me get off that. Let me get off that.
You mean the sparring video?
Yeah, my man had a gut. Yeah, right. He had a gut, and it doubled like the profile's not. He just looks like a guy that is not going to be fighting at 130 anytime soon. Making weight.
Maybe it's a catchweight.
Yeah, I mean, the catchweight that they. What's the belt that Leo has? Let me take a look. See what belt he has. See which sanctioning body if they're willing to still sanction a fight. The WBA is about that cash.
That's right. That man said he don't subscribe to no talk about one champ, one for each division. He said, I'll make belts all day.
Yeah.
I'll make
belts
all day.
They need that TV money. They're not trying to hamper any yeah, man, that is a promoter that is promoter friendly. When you have multiple belts, that means you can have multiple guys and you can fulfill multiple TV you can fulfill multiple dates on a network.
That's okay, man. I mean, you can have an intercontinental belt, you can have a gold belt, you can have whatever, popcorn belt, you can have whatever, man. Just
tell me fills out the card, right?
Just tell me what you
card. For some reason, Fortuna Linares there's a belt attached to it, diamond belt.
You shitting me.
It's the diamond belt, right? So it's like, so you got Haney versus Gamboa, apparently. That's what I'm hearing. Then Campbell versus Ryan, and for the interim belt, and then Linares versus Fortuna for the diamond belt.
So the diamond belt is like a second runner-up belt.
Yeah, and then Loma is supposed to be fighting Tio, and that's the franchise belt. But you can't win the franchise belt; you can only lose it, right?
What up, brother Shah? What up? Peace. Yeah, man. So I was gonna get to the Haney versus Gamboa. So hey, good segue. Haney versus Gamboa. Haney says they're gonna do a fight, whatever. No, it's an interesting thing because Devin Haney was supposed to fight Luke Campbell. The WBC took that fight from him and made the Ryan Garcia fight for the interim belt, apparently, I guess, for the next mandatory. So Devin Haney is without an opponent. However, in the WBC rankings, there's not really a lot of people who he can fight. I don't know if Gamboa is even in the WBC rankings. I don't know who's there, right? So the question is, of course, you don't really want to see Devin Haney versus Gamboa, but if not Gamboa, then who? Who would have been a better fight at this time for Devin Haney? What do you think about the fight, Smoke?
I thought it'd be a throwaway opponent. I didn't even think I'd know the person's name that he would fight actually when they announced the other fights, right? Because I think that's really what this is about, is him fighting the winners of those two fights.
Yeah. I think right. Those two fights, it's like a 3-fight setup or 2-fight setup. Sorry.
Yeah. So coming out of COVID, I thought it would be another one of those guys that haven't Haney fights that I've never heard of them really. So, Gamboa is a good name. Everybody knows who the hell he is. They don't give him a prayer of winning, right? But I also think he gets a pass because why are any of those guys fighting each other versus Devin Haney? Like, why do we need these interim belts and diamond belt matchups? Any one of those 4 guys could go and just fight Devin Haney.
The WBC is a very strange organization because they had already set up Luke Campbell versus Devin Haney for Devin Haney's belt. And then Ryan Garcia was supposed to fight Linares. And then those fights just fell apart.
No, I mean, the first time Devin Haney and Luke Campbell, it didn't just fall apart. Lomachenko bogarted his way through and took the spot, which is how he got franchised in the first place. That was for vacant. I'm saying.
I know, but I mean.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That was the second time that it that it was supposed to happen, right? I don't understand, but whatever. It looks like it's a plan to make the WBC a bunch of money and to raise the profile of all of the fighters involved, except for Linares. I mean, maybe Fortuna. I don't know. The Linares Fortuna is like iffy whether or not either guy gets a significant boost in their profile from that fight.
Let me see who's in Devin Haney's. That's Charlo. Ramirez. If y'all have seen this, let me know. So there's Devin Haney. And Fortuna is fighting. Number 1, Fortuna is fighting number 4, Linares. 2 and 3 are fighting. Under that, is that Ivan Mendy. Is he still fighting? Yeah. He already beat Abdulaev. Kami just lost to Tio. And you have, is this Emmanuel Tago? Because I remember Lou DiBella wanted Devin Haney to fight this guy. But I've never seen him fight. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the Gamboa fight is what it is. Okay? It's a fight to get Devin Haney out there, and it's maybe a tick over until he can fight the next 2 fights, which is Ryan Garcia, then the winner of Fortuna and Linares.
It's his most accomplished opponent by far, by leaps and bounds.
Right.
I mean, it's a resume pattern, right? Leo Santa Cruz does have the WBA, so yeah, catch weight, got time to make the weight, all that.
Oh man. So let me see what we got here. Hold on. Yeah, man. So also for the Devin Haney thing, is it also a way to maybe stack up Devin Haney's performance against him to Tank's performance against him?
I don't. I mean, it's if it is, who cares? They need to stop pitting these two guys against each other that aren't going to fight ever.
You don't think that they're going to fight? You don't think so?
No, not ever. Not ever. This is just some Mayweather fake publicity kind of promotion of both fighters, whatever. It's fake beef, fake trash talk. They're not going to be in the same. Tank should be at 130, and Devin Haney's probably going to be at welterweight, right?
That's true. But yeah, man, so that's a little boxing. Let me just remind everybody again, you can tune in on Win FM. All you people out there who don't like hearing about reparations, you can tune in so I can give you that work on Saturday. I've been a panel discussion for Emancipation Day upcoming August the 1st. Emancipation Day was 1838, August the 1st, for the people in the Anglo-Caribbean and the Anglo and the British control isles. All right? If you don't like to hear about reparations, you can call in and show your coon spirit so I can give you all the energy you want. All right? Win FM, WINNFM. If you're listening on radio, it's 98.9, WINNFM.com. If you want to listen online, and you can watch me school some people on Saturday, because there's going to be a lot of them calling. A bunch of religious freaks are going to call in and talk to me about Jesus or something. And I keep telling these people, I am not ordered by any Abrahamic theology. You're going to have a problem with me. Anywho.
Where did Jesus come in? What's Jesus' thoughts on reparations?
let me tell you something, man.
What the hell?
Let me tell you something, man. On this island, in the Caribbean, but let me speak about my island. There's some super religious people on this island who will tell you, yeah, slavery was bad, but at least we got the Bible. At least we got to hear the word of God. Listen.
So that was the reparations? That was it?
Listen, Smoke. Smoke, you don't understand, bro. You don't
Nah,
understand.
they say, yeah, believe they had the Garifuna. Those guys fought. They fought. They tried to go away. They did all kinds of separate. They actually are just starting to lose their language right now.
Yep. So Saturday, I think it's like 10 o'clock or something. I'll be on. It's a bit early for me on a Saturday, but I'll be on. And when you people call in, you can come get all of this: reparations, emancipation, Black consciousness, Pan-Africanism, and all of that. Smoke, what else is happening in the boxing world? What else? What's happening in the boxing world, Smoke?
Yeah. Showtime just released a schedule. That sounds nice. Let's see. I could maybe pull it up if you gave me a second. There's a bunch of guys on there that it looks good.
Let's go.
And then, wait, hold on, because I'm gonna have to dual screen my phone. And then, it's still Canelo sweepstakes. It still goes on. Apparently, Valium Smith is supposed to be the latest guy, rumored to be the step up. Yeah, I don't know, but give me a second.
Callum Smith says he wants more, man. He wants 6, not 5. He wants 6, not 5. I'm like, man. Chen Smoke, what's up? Angel Santos in the chat. Angel, were you a Marine? Wow, that's crazy. No, I agree, Lisa. They do got a good upcoming schedule because for a while they were really quiet, but they were quiet because they were working on some shit. And that's good stuff from them. I'll watch. Yeah, man. So again, on Saturday, it's really important that we discuss the situation because we see what's happening across the world right now when it comes to Black people, and Black people have the same issues across the world. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm a avowed Pan-Africanist nationalist. I don't apologize for that. That is what it is. And I'm going on the show as my foundation. There are going to be different people on the show. The CARICOM committee has been pushing this reparations for quite some time now from the British. British keep trying to absolve themselves from anything. But we know that the British and these people have all taken reparations for themselves already. But they don't want to pay to anybody else. Well, not anybody else, to Black people, because they've paid it to other people already. So, Saturday I'll be on talking about that. We must always remember that the British took 20 million pounds, which is valued at something like $6 billion now, in reparations for loss of human property, and they didn't stop paying it off till 2015, which means people who are descended from the enslaved people who they took reparations for losing were paying taxes to pay reparations to descendants of British slaveholders. We'll discuss all of that on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of people calling in hating on me, and that's cool. I don't care.
Yeah, so I'm a Pan-Africanist philosophically, but I haven't really been active in years.
That's okay, brother. That's
okay. So yeah, I'd like to. I definitely it's a subject that interests me, and I'd love to hear more about it. I don't know if you want to how deep you want to go into it today or on this live, but I also have the schedule, the Showtime schedule in front of me. So,
go ahead with the Showtime schedule. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So we got David Benavidez versus Romer Alexis Aguero. We got Alexis Aguero. Okay. And that is on August 15th. We got Erickson Lubin versus Terrell Gusano. I don't know. I don't know Terrell. I don't know who Erickson Lubin's fighting, but Erickson Lubin's coming back on September 19th. We got that Charlo doubleheader happening on September 26th. Then Lipinets is fighting Abdukakharov. That should be a nice one. Yeah, they should be going at it. Then you got Gervonta versus Santa Cruz happening in October. Then Chris Colbert, is fighting Jaime Arboleda.
Baby B-Hop.
Yeah, Baby B-Hop. I don't know his opponent. That's in November. And then we have, let's make this bigger. Dubali. Oh, okay. We got Dubali and Donaire fighting. So that should also be a real good fight. So yeah, that's all Showtime too. So they coming out the gate punching, and all that UFC guys. You go back under your rock. Go, stop talking about your professional cuddlers.
Oh.
And let's get some fisticuffs on.
Hey man, PBC was quiet for a while, but PBC was working on some shit. That's why they were quiet. They weren't out there talking all this dumb shit, talking all this what they're gonna do, where they're gonna keep the fight. They were working, and these are some good fights. I'll watch. So what? I mean, but then I'm a guy who like to see fights. I like combat sports, so I'll watch anyway. You know what I'm saying, but hey man, Smoke, we can get into a bit of the reparations talk before I get off. I'm not gonna be on for long, so we can talk about whatever you want, brother. Any questions?
Oh, okay. So distribution and form has always been my things, right? So we can identify the companies, we can identify the governments, but what is the form that it would take, and then how would you distribute it?
Well, it's interesting because we already have an example. Germany paid the Israelis, who are now the Israelis, paid them because the people who are bargaining on behalf of the affected survivors of the Holocaust actually put it down per person, right? It's D Jeff. What up, D Jeff?
What's up, fellas?
What the fuck you got in your Smoke? What's this?
What's that?
Painting, bro. I was doing some painting today. Yeah.
D, your painter?
Yeah, commercial painting. I gave it up about a year ago.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're back at it, right?
No. A friend of mine has a painting company. He kind of got behind on some jobs, so I'm just kind of helping him out. So.
There you go. You don't have no time to waste with people like me and Smoke. That's all right. You're making big money. That's all right. Go ahead, man.
Yeah.
Now, me and Smoke, we're just getting into a bit of a conversation about what I'm going to discuss on Saturday. I've been invited on to do a discussion on emancipation, which is coming up on August the 1st.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to be talking about reparations and all of that. And just the state of our people in general. So Smoke was talking about the distribution. So Smoke, what is clear is that there's somewhat of a model, so the Germans, the people who negotiated on behalf of the affected Jews put it down to, I think it was $20-something thousand per person at that time, right? I think. And they said, you can pay that to the state, and that would help build the state. So all of that money was paid to the state for the amount of people that are currently there now. That was 1951, I think. The problem is that was inflation and all of that, and it was less people then. Now you have descendants of African people in this part of the world where it's now in the millions, right? And you have all these people that you're going to have to deal with. You can't escape this. Something going to have to give, which is why you have some companies now, some schools have started doing things like saying, okay, we're going to pay back some money. We're going to give free scholarships to some people. But CARICOM is talking about a larger situation. So there is a model, because you can put it down to how much a person is worth, because people were worth something at that point in time, right? So there is a model. Distribution, are you going to pay it to the state? Some people are talking about, they want a check in their hand. Some people say pay it to the state. The problem is if you pay it to the state is not all African people or the people who are descended from those people. And some of these states now are not governed by descendants of African people. So these are all issues that you're going to have to discuss.
Yeah, and specifically with the Israelis, they were a state, right? They were a state, and it was a state comprised of of Holocaust survivors. But how do you when it comes to something like slavery, especially the transcontinental slave trade specifically, you have a bunch of affected people and affected countries.
Yes. Yes. And
So it becomes, I guess it becomes a matter for, this is a UN matter then? So it'd be all the nation states that are signed on to the UN treaty right now? Or, I mean, how do you bring the church involved? Do you bring the Catholic Church involved into it also?
But that's another problem, because the church is also directly benefited from transatlantic, transcontinental slavery, right? One of the things I'm going to talk about, which always pisses people off in this country, is the fact that every single of the 3 original churches that were here, is it 3 or 4? 4, sorry. The Catholic Church, the Anglican Church, the Methodist Church, and the Moravians. The Methodists and the Moravians came about the same time after the Catholics and the Anglicans, because the Catholics came with the French and the British brought Anglicanism, right? All of them, the Anglicans especially, had actually owned plantations in the Caribbean. They owned multiple plantations, and they just recently admitted it. And of course, they're going to say, I'm sorry. That's not good enough, right? Because they became immensely rich. So church and state were in cahoots in the whole process of enslaving people, right? Churches owned plantation. And in this country, you had church ministers acting as plantation overseers, plantation employees, all of that. So all of this is a problem for them. This is why you find they don't want to hear nothing, because every single part of it was involved in keeping black people enslaved. The church, the state, all of this, the merchant class, all of this. You know what I'm saying? So this is all in a big pot. The church doesn't want to hear it. All they want to say is sorry. But you're going to have a problem. So when I speak about that, usually I get the people who call in on air, because this is not the first time I'm doing this. The Christians will call in really quickly and be really upset. I don't care. D, what's on your mind?
No, I was just listening to y'all. When you going on to this podcast?
No, it's on a radio show on Saturday. It's a national broadcast. It's going.
Oh, okay.
It's winnfm.com if you want to listen online. It's gonna be about 10 o'clock in the morning. So it's a bit early, but
yeah, hit me a message with the radio station. I am gonna check it out.
Will do, bro. So this is all in a big pot, Smoke, when the church comes in, because the Methodists and the Moravians come much later than the Catholics and the Anglicans came with the first British person in 1623, because the Anglican Church, aka the Church of England, you know the history of how that was formed, right, Smoke?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's
wasn't it Henry VIII trying to get a divorce?
Right, and he was pissed off because you can't tell me what the fuck to do. I don't answer to you, so I'll form my own church. So that's the Anglican Church, and that came with Thomas Warner in 1623 here. See, this island was.
Yeah, I went to Leeds Castle, Anne Boleyn's castle, when I was in England. But anyway, Go ahead.
Right. So the Anglican Church came, and they just had slaves. That's just what it was. You just had people. You just owned people. You just owned people.
Don't you better write something down?
You just owned people. That's just what it was. And they participated actively in the trade at that time, because one of the points about the church was to raise funds. What was more profitable than owning black people? Free labor. The Catholic Church, that's just what it was. The Catholic Church had no issues owning people. They've been doing that for a while in Brazil, in wherever. There was no disconnect between owning a person and being a Christian for the Catholic.
I mean, they sanctioned the entire, European colonization of Africa, and
that's right.
Exploitation of resources,
right.
Including human, right?
That's right. The papal bull, the first one was to the Portuguese. Say whatever you find down below here, you can enslave or whatever. That was the first one, and then they had to split the world in the two hemispheres. Say over here is for the Spanish, over here is for the Portuguese. Whatever you find over here is for blah, blah, whatever. So the churches become involved and they don't want to hear it. As far as they're concerned, we say, I'm sorry, and that's okay. But they were some of the biggest beneficiaries.
And then what about the several Arab nations who have been plundering, who taught the whole slavery system to the European in the first place, right? Where do you start? Like, how far does this whole thing about reparations go? Especially when it comes to like Africans, and then do you expand that to wider groups at a certain point?
Well, in terms of the Arab countries, we're dealing with right now the European, the British for us, right? For now, the Arabs was a bit ahead, was a bit further back, so we haven't gone that far back yet. The issue with the Arab
this is about the transatlantic and the European countries at this point, and then it's time to hit those guys up. And then afterwards, we can deal with, the Arab leagues and whomever else.
That's another discussion, because that's what also, well, once I get a chance to bring that up, I'm going to also be able to tell people that you got to remember there were also Arabs involved in the continental trade that led down into the coast, right? Where they met the Europeans, right?
Yep.
So that's also part of it. But, we're going to deal with the British for now. British and, the French for me. I don't excuse anybody. I don't care. But we want to deal with the British, right? You don't want to expand it too far yet. Whatever. One of the other issues that we're going to have in the discussion is that there are other groups who like to glom onto issues of Black people and want to benefit. Like, you have people who are indentured servants who would say things like, oh, it was just like slavery. No, it wasn't just like slavery. You had a contract. If a child was born between two indentured servants, that child was not an indentured servant. You know what I'm saying? If a child was born between two enslaved people, that child was a slave. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is something that we're going to have to unpack, because of course there are people who always want to benefit from things that Black people want to get. And it's always an issue that it's always an issue that we're going to have to deal with. But it's just a lot. I don't know how much we're going to get into on Saturday. But it's a conversation that has taken on new life again because of what's happening again in America. And a lot of people here do not like to attach themselves to our American brothers and sisters. And this is why I told them, you don't like to do it until a Botham Jean from St. Lucia goes to America and gets shot in his apartment. See, you don't think it could happen to you because you feel like, oh, I'm Black, but I'm different to those Blacks. I'm different. I'm not the same until you get shot in your apartment. Go ahead, Smoke, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I see it all the time. I hear, I hear you. I think it's a fascinating conversation. I'll be tuning in.
Yeah, man. So
yeah, I'm definitely gonna be there, bro. It's like I'm liking what I hear now. So there's a lot of things that are not being discussed and that actually need to be discussed. But right now, everything is about the COVID-19 pandemic and the police brutality. And I'm actually getting ready to do a live on a topic, concerning this, because I'm not saying that they're masking what's going on, but there is a big issue, a big issue that's going on right now, and we don't hear the media speaking about it at all. And that is child trafficking, bro. And let me tell you, people always hollering about, Black this, white this. There's no discrimination when it comes to what they're doing to these children. People are getting locked up left and right. I'm talking about powerful, important people. And you don't see this shit in the media. You don't see it in the media at all. It's like that's what's going on, and they utilize it. Like, again, the thing that's going on with police.
Hello? Is it me? Did my shit cut off?
It needs to be addressed or something. Like we need to address that issue for sure. but they're putting it out so much that they're masking what's going on with this child trafficking ring. This is government officials involved, powerful billionaires, people in Hollywood, and they're going to jail right now. And you don't hear about it on the internet. They're getting locked up right now as we speak, and you hear nothing about it. But it's an underlying issue along with that as well.
Are you going? Are you going to live like soon to talk about that? Because I'm interested in hearing more. You cut off again. What's happening, man? Is it me?
Nah, he's frozen.
Oh.
Nah, he's just frozen. Yeah. It's D.
Oh. But hey, man, that's real. Is it true, Smoke, that they can't find a lot of these kids who got separated from their parents in like the internment camps? I call them internment camps. Refugee, like Hispanics who come over the border. Is it true?
I don't know about their ability to find them. But yeah, there is definitely a problem. Yes, it is true. One word answer. I actually have a friend who worked the case trying to track down the kid. Yeah.
Holy shit. I'm telling you, man, this is hey, man. Well, what can I say? These countries have a history of trafficking people. So why stop now? Right?
I mean, if you want to talk about, we're just talking about the Arabs' relationship to Africa. Like, you look at the Sudan, and it's still happening right now to this day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Non-stop. Like, never really slowed up. Not really. They just go and take people from South Sudan, which is why South Sudan had to be formed, because they were like, look, we can't deal. Like, you know what I mean? And they still do it till today. Even in Northern Sudan, they still take people, right? It's really a problem, right? And one of the hardest parts is going to be speaking about Arab enslavement, because if you speak to like some continental Africans, they don't want to. I think the Arab has been in Africa so long that Africans now think that they're just a part of them. They don't see it as an issue. They've lived with it so long. The European one is so recent. They talk about that, but they don't talk about the Arab enslavement. Like when I speak to people in East Africa, they tell you a lot of them don't really know nothing because they don't teach it in schools. They don't teach it in schools. I remember watching this BBC documentary, which was very well done by I think her name is Zainab Badawi, about Africa. And when she did the Eastern African ports, some of the interviewees were saying they're upset because a lot of Black Africans don't consider themselves Black; they consider themselves Arab. And that's a real problem when you want to speak on historical issues of enslavement. It's really an issue for them, right? So it's a lot, man. I'm sorry D got cut off, though. That was a very interesting topic. You know
yeah, the Swahili,
Exactly.
the East African incursions, and I was in Egypt. I went to the pyramids for the turn of the century, right, 2000, and I went on a tour. Okay, so I'll just go through the whole story real fast. I had like an ounce of weed on me, and it was just like safety pin to the inner part of my pants, right, and down my thigh. And I'd been in Africa for about a month already, so it was like I had some really billowy like pants. They weren't form fitting at all, so you couldn't tell that I had anything in them. But there's a sign hanging in the airport that said drugs strictly prohibited, violators will be hanged to death. And so I got on a tour bus, right? And got the fuck out of there. But in the tour, like, I went to all of these different places that were all fucked up. Like, I mean, like carpet makers where they had child labor, and as soon as the tour guide turned his head, the children started begging for money and asking for help and shit. But part of it was going to museums where the Arabs were claiming to be the actual ancient Egyptians. And it was like, okay, you guys, I mean, yeah, you've been in Africa for a long time, but you haven't been here for that long. Come on.
That's right. That's right. It's a real issue. Like, these people have been there a long time, so they have now started to how do I say, take on the personas of who they met there, of people who they met there. These are the same people who came over, saw the pyramids, and had no idea what they were. No idea what they were. You know what I'm saying? And this is, if you read the Travels of Ibn Battuta, he speaks about an Arab general, and the hole is still there, who blew a hole in the side of one of the pyramids. And I remember asking Runoko Rashidi if it's true. And he said, yeah, the hole is still there. It actually did happen. Ibn Battuta speaks about the Arab general who blew the hole in the side of the pyramid because they didn't know what was inside of it. So they just wanted to get in and loot the place. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know what it was. But they've now started to take onto themselves this persona that this is who they were. If you have not checked out this documentary by BBC, and I was quite surprised at it, it was actually well done. It's by the presenter is Zainab Badawi. Of course, there's some things that are a bit off, but it's actually overall a very good multi-part documentary about Africa. The Africans speak for themselves, they speak up, they say what's on their mind and whatnot. But it's a real issue when it comes to the Arabs. Like, I remember one of the first presentations I did on my Lisa Bears, I just said, I mean, I speak to Runoko on his Facebook page quite often, actually. I wanted to get Runoko to come to St. Kitts a few times, but it just never happened. But I still want him to come to St. Kitts. And one of the first presentations I ever did on my other page is about the Portuguese and transatlantic slave trade. And I speak about one of the first documented Black sellouts was a guy called Adahu the Moor. Adahu the Moor. Adahu the Moor was a guy who spoke Arabic. He was caught by the Spanish. The Spanish were sailing down the coast when they were first making their way down, inching down, and they saw black people, and they just attacked the black people immediately. The black people didn't attack them, they just attacked them. And they caught Adahu. And Adahu says, if you let me go, I will get other blacks. He's talking about the blacks in the Senegambia area. And if you let me go, I'll get double, triple that for you. And they dressed him up nice, gave him food and all of that, and they let Adahu go, and Adahu actually went out and got those people and sold them to the Spanish. So.
Yeah, that's my tribe is from that area, Senegambia.
There you go. So, but yeah, man, I'll be on Saturday. Hopefully nothing happens. There's supposed to be a storm coming this way. I hope nothing happens, and hopefully if I do get on, I get a chance to speak, because a lot of the times they don't like my point of view, because I am not a person that worries too much about what is acceptable. Like, for instance, things that black people would do normally is now seen as revolutionary or extreme. I remember the last time I was on, a guy said, you're a very extreme thinker, because I made the assertion that black people should strive as much as possible to rebuild their family structures amongst themselves. And he's like, what you mean? I was like, marry a black woman, have a relationship with a black man, as much as possible, do that. I mean, that's something that we should strive to do. We build our family structures. And he thought I was quite extreme. And I just didn't understand. I was like, that's what you would normally do if you live around other black people, is marry another black person. I don't understand. Like, I'm not, his whole thing was, what if you marry another person? I was like, that's your choice. If you marry another outside your race, that's your choice. I'm not going, but they don't usually like that line of reasoning from me. They don't like that. So we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, that's always been a fault point, right? A point of division. John Henry Clark was one of my teachers, and that was definitely his view, is that it started from the black family and blacks marry black.
But I think it's quite simple, because we always say everything starts in a home. So if we're going to do black economics, black spiritual systems, you have to start with the basis of a black family, right? I'm not going to sit here and jump on you and kick you if you marry outside your race. That's not my job. That's your choice. But I'm just saying, why is it revolutionary to marry or have relationships inside your race, to wear your own hair, to speak your languages, to worship how you want to worship, like worship an African system? Why are those things revolutionary? I don't understand. Those are just what other people do, no?
Right, but an African. Yeah, but an African system is multi-ethnic, right? And really, the entire idea of the black person, like, that tells you how you look. It doesn't tell you who you are. It still needs a cultural reference point, and it also has to have a geographical reference point, I think.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's like like one of the vestiges of racism is this whole organization, is the way that we view ourselves, right? This idea about what black is, and it's about features, and it's not that's not actually the point.
Right.
But Africa was multi-ethnic, and we didn't have the racial hangups.
Right. But yeah, man, that's it for me. I don't really have a lot more to go. I usually do these 1-hour streams. I don't like long streams. But that's all from me, brother Smoke. Anything else from you, brother?
Oh man, yeah, I'm glad to a good schedule. I'm looking forward to it. Box is heating up. Good conversation, topics that I'm glad that people are taking up the mantle. I've been talking about reparations for so damn long. It's like, I would like to know what's being done about it, really, and like what's being done about the real issues, like the real practical issues surrounding it. So I'm definitely going to be tuning in to hear what you guys got going on in St. Kitts, and and how that attracts the wider diaspora.
Right. Well, what I would say is to the people, there's some people who have taken on this sort of separatist movement where I'm different to this black person, that black person. Look, man, if CARICOM gets reparations, it benefits other black people in their movement. If you in America get reparations, it benefits us. I think the best thing for us to do is compare notes and share information. I don't see, because there's some people who tend to want to engage me in conversation of separatism, and I keep telling people I'm a Pan-Africanist. I support American black people in their fight to get reparations from the American government. I support them 150,000%. Because if you get reparations, it's better for me down here. If we get it, better for you. But we must always remember, all of these people are the same enemy. They're the same people. It does not benefit America if Britain gives us reparations. And it does not benefit Britain if America gives you reparations. They keep the same head. We need to keep the same head too and realize we're all in the same war. They just call themselves different names, but it's the same people. You know what I'm saying? That's all for me, brother.
All right, next time, man. I'm glad I caught you live finally.
Yeah, yeah, man. Marty Machine. You want my personal Facebook page, or the Facebook page for the radio station? What you want, bro? Let me see what Marty Machine wants. No, he's not answering. Anyway, Brother Smoke. Oh, my Facebook page is my personal name. Just look on Facebook for me, Greg Herbert, GREGGHERBERT. That's me. That's my personal Facebook page. Everybody knows my name. That's my name. Just go to Facebook page /GREGGHERBERT. That's where you'll find me, brother Mar. The radio station is WINNFM on Facebook. It should be that. Or if they have a website, that's WINNFM.com, WinFM. All right? Anyway, man, y'all have a nice day. Peace and power to you, Brother Smoke. Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. Right back at you. Peace, man.
Peace. Peace to everybody in the chat. Y'all have a nice day.